Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Georgiemon and I'm your friendly neighborhood anime and manga fan. I love all things anime and all things manga, and I'm here today to talk about Chainsaw Man chapter 132. So, what did I think about this week's chapter? I personally thought this chapter was great. I thought it was very fast paced, as well as it developed the story going forward, because now we see what kind of predicament both Denji and Asa are in, and how Yoshida is going to come into play in the future as well, because he seems like he's planning something, and him and Fami, we know that they've been up to, plotting something behind the scenes. I mean, we saw them interact in previous chapters. So I think that this chapter is going to be focusing on what's Yoshida and Fami's plans going forward. Now, before we go any further with this week's chapter, I just wanted to give you guys a quick reminder to make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel so you guys can be up to date with all my Chainsaw Man as well as all my anime and manga content that I'll be providing in this channel. It really helps out a lot, and I would really appreciate it if you guys could subscribe to my YouTube channel. So if you guys could, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. Now, with all that out of the way, let's get into this week's chapter. So this week's chapter picks up where we left off in the last developing plot thread in the story, which was Nayuta in school. And I thought this whole sequence was fun. We get to see Nayuta just kind of, chill during her lunch, and she seems like she has some friends, and typical as, because she's the control double, it's very typical for her to pretty much use her power to steal the food that she wants from the cafeteria from her friends. At least that's what it took, because there's a panel where she's like, hey, can I get your your food? And the guy's like, sure. And I'm 100% certain that it's Nayuta just kind of controlling the guy. Because she's a kid, and I'm sure that she's just gonna use her power in in ways like that. I mean, I would if I was her age. Like, hey, I want that piece of your burger. Give me that burger. It's only her nature to do that. Now, an interesting plot thread that one of the friends of Nayuta says to us, the audience, is that pretty much a lot of kids have died because of the devils, and a lot of people are leaving Tokyo, and that's it's developing the whole sense of Tokyo is a dangerous place because that's the most populated with devils. And we see that not just, we get to see a little bit outside of the scope of the main characters, because this chapter did a great job in, focusing off, what's the outside world feeling towards all these things that are happening, all this Nostradamus effects. And what we see is that pretty much a bunch of SWAT team members just out of nowhere burst in, and they're like putting their guns against the classroom. And you see just Naruto like, what the? And while all that is happening, you see that pretty much Asa is waking up, and we see that she's kind of recovering, or she's kind of laying against a hallway, because this hospital is very populated by all these people that are injured because of the falling devil. And talking about the falling devil, we get to see a big insight of just how much of a chaos she did across the world. And you see that apparently in Japan, at least 2,000 people have gone missing, and or they have been missing or confirmed like dead. And that's just a big eye-opener for us, because she knows that the falling devil was hunting specifically for her. So I'm guessing that going forward in the story, we might have a little bit of survivor's guilt, where Asa feels like all of these people died because of me, because the falling devil, like I said, was hunting after her and Yoru. So I think that she's gonna be feeling in like, hey, this could have been all prevented if I was just like dead. If I never existed, this would have been prevented. And I think that's going to be an interesting plot thread, that Asa and how she's going to deal with this, because it's a lot, and it's a lot to think of, just knowing that you're partially the reason why 2,000 people died. Now, it's not her fault in the sense that she didn't do anything that made those people die, but the falling devil was targeting her, and it's the collateral damage. And that's something that I think she's going to have to deal with and, overcome as the story goes on. Now, going forward after that, we get to see pretty much a TV show, and we see that somebody's saying like, hey, all these politicians, all these devil hunters, they're not helping us with these devils. We need somebody to help us, and that somebody is Chainsaw Man. And that's why I propose we should make the Chainsaw Man organization. And we see that the person behind all of this is the guy that was in the Chainsaw Man fan club, the guy with the fake Chainsaw Man pull trigger thing. And he's just like, yeah, we're gonna make this great. Chainsaw Man is our Lord and Savior, and we know he's a big, he's a simp. He's a #1 simp of Chainsaw Man. And he kind of just preaches to the choir like, hey, let's support Chainsaw Man. And you see the entire crowd is like, yeah, let's do that. And the TV host is just kind of making fun of him like, yeah, you're a high school student, think about the books instead of thinking about these Nostradamus and all these prophecies, like it's mumbo jumbo. And pretty much what happens is we see him go back, and he leaves the show, and he see him in a room with Fami, and he just starts going off on Fami like, man, he made a joke out of me, what was that all about? Like, what is the plan? Like, and then Fami's like, no, it's fine. That was I was trying to make that happen. And he's like, why? You're making a fool of me. And then out of nowhere, you see like a shadowy hand kind of reach into the guy, and it's like, hey, you're the body and Femi is the brains. Just follow what she says and everything will be fine, pretty much. And the guy's like, sure, like, that's fine. I mean, everything for Chainsaw Man, right? Now, there's a couple of people that I'm suspecting it to be, and I've seen a lot of people online already kind of having a bit of a discourse thinking about like, oh, is this so and so? And I think for me, there's two main theories that I'm following right now, and that's either number one, that is the fake Chainsaw Man, or number two, that is the Death Devil kind of pulling the strings behind everybody. And I don't know about how to feel about those, but I think it's definitely not Yoshida, because I saw some people say like, that's definitely Yoshida, you know, but I just don't think so. I don't think he, you know, it doesn't fit the description, because I think the hand, it doesn't look like Yoshida's hand. And I know this is a weird thing to say, but still, it doesn't, I just don't think it's Yoshida. And other people have said that it might be like, you know, Kobeni as the final villain, like she's actually working with Fami and she's the Death Devil. And that's just a silly, you know, meme pose kind of thing, but I definitely don't think it's Kobeni. If I had to guess, like I said, I think it's definitely the fake Chainsaw Man or the Death Devil. But if I had to pretty narrow it down, I would say the fake Chainsaw Man, because he seems to, there has to be a payoff with him. And I think that, you know, Fujimoto's setting up that, you know, the fake Chainsaw Man is going to be a big player going forward, because he saved Denji and Asa. And if it wasn't for the fake Chainsaw Man, they both would have pretty much been stuck in hell and most likely die. And talking about Denji, we get to see what he's been up to. And what he's been up to is that he's been strapped on a chair and he's kind of being kept hostage by Yoshida. And we catch up and we see that Denji's just like, what the heck, dude? And then Yoshida's like, you're under our protection, trust me, everything's fine. And Denji's just like, really? Under your protection? Like, you took me out of class while I was sleeping and you brought me here and stripped me down? Like, what the heck? What's your problem, dude? It's like, and he's like, I swear to God, if you even hurt the dogs or Nayuta, like, what's up with them? What did you do to them? He's like, they're fine. You know, we took them under our custody and they're in our protection. Everything's fine. Denji's like, if I swear to God, if you did anything to them, I'm gonna kill you, dude. And then he's like, no, like I said, they're under protection. And Denji just falls, like, while he's like having this entire rant, like, I'm gonna murder you if you do anything to them, because we know that how much attachment he has to Nayuta as well as those dogs. Because I mean, if your dog was, you know, being taken away from you, I'm sure you would be devastated as well. And not just that, I mean, your sister too. Like, come on, that's just, you would be out for blood, you know. And Denji, I see where he's coming from. You know, I totally relate to that. And what we see is, like I said, he falls, and it's pretty funny. This whole panel's hilarious. Denji just kind of like, you know, having this whole rant, and you see just Yoshida kind of like look down, like, yeah, there's nothing you can do. Like, you gotta listen to me. I'm the guy in control. Like, you know that meme that I'm the captain now. Like, that's Yoshida right now. So after all that, pretty much Denji just goes and says, like, listen, I'll do anything. Like, please just don't hurt them, and, you know, let us all escape, and I'll forget all of this. I'll even lick your butthole for a week if that's what it takes. Like, and Yoshida's like, gross, first of all. Second of all, Denji is a freak. Like, this dude is very devious. Like, okay, he'll do anything. And we've seen that in part 1. But every time, like, when Denji just makes these offers, like, I'll do this if you let this happen, it's always hilarious. Because I'm always like, Denji, you're outdoing yourself. And I honestly just thought that whole thing with, you know, Denji just being like, I'll lick your booty. Like, that was just, whoa. I had to, like, raise my eyebrow like The Rock, like. Now, following that, we see that pretty much Yoshida's like, you're under protection. Just let it slide. And Denji's like, ah, man, this sucks. And that's how the chapter ends. So we're going to see, I'm speculating that now we're really going to start kicking off the story when it comes to, you know, like the big threat of Nostradamus. Because now they're taking precautions. Now the Public Safety Devil Hunter Association thing, they're taking, you know, steps to get their strongest players, I'm sure. And they're going to either keep them custody to protect them or to use them against the Nostradamus thing. Because it's, you know, this thing is, if the Falling Devil did all this massacre, and not just in Japan, it did this all over the world. You see all these catastrophe and death toll and all this. So I'm sure that if this was just a Falling Devil and more hordes of enemies are going to come like this, then yeah, they're going to need everybody that they have to take them down, because this is a big issue. And like, they're not going to be able to win. Like, this plain and simple. If they just go, you know, with the guns that they have, they're not going to step up to, you know, these devils that are S tier. So they definitely need Denji, they definitely need Nayuta, and they definitely need Asa, because they all know the entire Devil Association knows that, these are the biggest players. At least I think so. And even Fami's joining the mix. So this is a big threat. But with all that being said, what did you guys think about this week's chapter? Did you guys love it? Did you guys hate it? Did you guys thought it was alright? Whatever you guys thought, let me know in the comment section down below. Also, thank you so much for sticking all the way to the end of the video. I really appreciate it. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel for more Chainsaw Man, as well as more anime and manga content in the near future. But yeah, with that being said, I hope you guys have a great rest of your day. Bye bye.